go broke really fast. You make good money, but you can be broke super fast. So,
That's 3 tips.
okay guys, welcome back to Schofield Welding. I have Cabe Clark here with us, Clark Sparks Welding on YouTube. That link will be down at the bottom. You guys should go follow his channel, and you guys are going to learn a whole bunch. So in this episode of, or podcast, or whatever you want to call it, we're going to be talking about our best 3 tips of making money welding, okay? To traveling. That's the thing about this lifestyle is you can go broke really fast. You make good money, but you can be broke super fast. So, I'm going to let Cabe do his first 3, and then I'll do my 3, because I still got to think of my third one. I got the 2, and they're good. They're really good.
Yeah, so one of my first tip that I have for you guys that are out on the road or just starting out, and you want to make sure that you're making all the money that you can so that you don't have to stay on the road for forever. And that first tip to making money and keeping that money is staying out of bars, clubs, and things like that, and spending your money, a whole bunch of money where you don't need to, spending it on partying and just doing stupid stuff.
Which in this life seems to be a pretty big thing. Like, we're going out, we're going to go eat dinner. So you're going to go spend $40 on dinner. Then we're going to the bar.
Yep.
And at that point, you really risk a lot, because not only are you spending a lot of money at the bar, how are you getting home?
Right.
Like, I've had a lot of buddies that wind up with DUIs. They're stuck in that state until they get it resolved. And sometimes they're stuck in that state for months. And so jobs usually don't last that long. So that's great, keeping an eye on that part of your life, keeping it under control.
Yeah, and I think too with that, there's a lot of opportunity there to ruin other things as well by participating in those activities. I know for me, when we were in North Dakota, those first 3-4 weeks, I was spending all my per diem, like I'd say probably at least, or most of it, $700 a week just on eating out.
Yeah.
You know, and that was for lunch and dinner, spending $40 or $50 on meals at dinner, spending $20 at lunch. Like, it was just insane.
Yeah,
An insane amount of money.
But Cabe looks like a little feller. He eats like a 400-pound dude.
Yeah, that is true.
Holy cow, dude. We'd wind up at a Mexican restaurant, he'd have like 4 burritos. 4 meal burritos. Dude. Yeah, I would like this and this and this and this.
Hey, man, I get hungry.
Yeah, starving to death. But no, you're right.
But yeah, just staying away from those things, and whatever that means for you, maybe it means eating out once a week and making your meals the rest of the time, or I mean, this brings up my next tip, and that's having a budget. You know, you could eat out every meal if you want to. Just have a budget. Say, I'm only going to spend $20 a day, or $20 a meal, whatever it is, and then stick to that. Have the discipline to stick to a budget and manage where your money goes, so that way you're not overspending, you're not going out to dinner and acting like me, buying 3 different entrees and
at $20 a piece.
yeah, and then spending $60 when you really only need to spend $20.
Mm-hmm. No, those are good. I totally agree with that, because I remember I still have to catch myself now.
Right.
But the first parts of the year was, like when I first started welding, it was that way. Like, you went with the welders. You went out to the bars. You went out and, a little bit of a wild child, right? And you were broke. Man, you could have covered 6 figures in a year and you had nothing.
Yeah.
And it was all because of that. So, third tip.
Yeah, my third tip is make sure you're looking at your checks every week. How they're broke down, how much is per diem, how much is getting taxed if you're a W-2 employee, and how much of it's straight time, how much of it's overtime. Look at those things and just know how that money's broke down and where it comes from. And then also check your bank accounts every single day. See how much money you got in there. See how much is leaving your account every day. And that way it helps you create a budget. And when you look at your paychecks, you know exactly where your money's coming from. And there's sort of a power in having awareness of those numbers that lets you control your money and lets you focus in on how it's being made.
Yep. Oh, I totally agree with that. And I think just on that part of it, taxes.
Yeah.
Knowing how to break down your taxes. Taxes are huge. So as a W-2 employee, you need to know that, hey, there might not be near as many write-offs as a contract welder, a 1099 guy, which at that point, the 1099 guy, they get write-offs on almost everything when they're out of town. I mean, pretty much 100% of what is out of town is a write-off, whereas a W-2, it's not. Like, a lot of what you're going to spend money on that is essential for you to do your job, you cannot write that off and you will pay taxes on it. And so to know taxes in your budget and like checking your account and checking your checks and learning how that stuff's broke down, knowing where those taxes are going is huge.
Exactly. The goal for working and having a job is to not be broke. So when you go out on the road, do your best to not make yourself broke, because I don't know anybody that wants to stay out on the road for long term, for their entire career, because some people have families, some people have hobbies. You don't want to work 7/12s all your life. I don't know anybody that wants to do that. Yep. So make it so you don't have to, and be smart with your money.
Yep. No, I agree with you. So my 3 tips on this deal is number 1, the first tip I'd give you is get your skill level up. If you want to make money, your skills need to match your money. You need to present value for money. If you're just a labor hand and you want to make more money and you just want to be a labor hand, why? Why would I pay you more money if all you can do is go bolt a flange up? You know what I mean?
Right.
Up your skill level to make more money. And for me, when I began my welding career, I was only a stick welder. I was only a downhill welder. I about starved to death twice I can think of. And it was only because I only had that skill level. But when I started learning how to TIG, I upped the skill level, which brought my money up with it too, and it allowed way more job options. So,
yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed is I've never been without a job, really. I've always been at work because, I mean, unlike you, I did go to welding school, and I did learn how to TIG early on in my career, so I know how to do all the things, all the processes. So I've never been out of work.
Yeah, it's options.
Right.
Now you have options. I was very limited.
Yep.
I only had one option. I couldn't freaking move forward into the next, which would have allowed me to keep working even in tough times. So number 1, get your skills up. If you are wanting to make money, get better at something, right? Better in your niche, whatever that niche is. Number 2, what the hell? What did I say number 2 was? Relationships. So my number 2 tip, building relationships. If you've ever heard the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
Holy cow. I used to think that was a bunch of crap. It is not. It is, you can make more money, stay busier, stay happier even with the people that you know. Totally. You want to go make more money? Go get people that got money. Go build relationships with those people. You want a welding job? Go make friends with weld bosses. Go make friends with company guys that have that authority to hire.
Right.
And so I would say number 2 is building those relationships. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
I saw this study one time that says you're going to make as much as your 5 closest friends. Mm-hmm. And so if your 5 closest friends are, millionaires or billionaires even, chances are you're probably going to elevate to their level.
Yeah.
And you're not going to stay making $32,000 a year.
Yep.
Or 50,000 or even 100.
Yeah. I think at that point, those friends, they're either going to push you to be better and get you where you're going to go, or they're going to get rid of you.
Right.
Like, you'll no longer be friends with them.
Yep.
You're going to be put into a cog, basically, at that point.
Yes.
Like, you either elevate or you get moved to the side.
100%.
And they have the same idea, too. So if you're going to be top friends with them, you got to elevate to where they're going to be. So the number 3 tip I got for you is appearance. If you show up and you look like a ragtag welder, dude, and you know who I'm talking to. You guys wearing your beanies into the gas station? Come on, boys. All right, we all know you're a welder. But clean clothes. Doesn't matter if it's got holes in it or whatever. I mean, you're a welder. You're getting burned up. That's part of the gig, right? But if you're going to go talk to a future prospect for work, clean clothes. Freaking nice shirts. Flipping starched pants. Look good doing your thing. I read a book one time that talked about this. And this company is an investment firm.
Yep.
And there was a company across the street. He sent a guy across the street to go collect a $500,000 check. This guy on this side of the street sent him back. No check, right? He wound up calling the boss of this other firm. And he says, hey, is your guy standing in front of you? He says, yes. He says, I want you to look at him and decide, would you give him a $500,000 check? Is he dressed for $500,000? And he's like, I'll take care of it. So in order to in order to present yourself in a way like that, appearance is a lot. I know a lot of people are like, well, they should search my soul, right? Well, man, I don't give a about your soul right now. Like, I got a lot of money on the line on this thing. Right. Are you professional enough to handle this?
Totally.
And yeah, go ahead.
And I mean, something big about appearance. That's one thing that I've focused on. I mean, almost my whole life is being well dressed and well groomed. I mean, right now I'm just in a t-shirt and jeans, but I'm 90% of the time when I go on a job,
Cave is starched to the max, bro.
Absolutely.
He looks so good when he shows up.
I make sure that I look good when I show up because I heard somebody say one time that, and I make sure my boots are clean, and because somebody said one time that's the first thing that people see when you walk in the door, and the last thing you see when you leave is the heel of your boots, right? So make sure you're clean. Make sure and I mean, you've worked with guys that are just filthy and gross and hard to be around, and so have I, and it just makes it miserable.
And you remember them.
Yeah.
And there's a certain amount of, I would say, how would you say that? If you look at a pipeliner, you can tell he's a pipeliner by the way he moves, by the way he dresses, by the way his truck is. Like, you know that this dude is a pipeliner, and you don't even have to ask him, right? He's clean. He's starched. He's freaking, like, everything's on the money. Like, his appearance just screams pipeliner.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, that was one thing I noticed about Cabe, because, like, before this, he met my brother. And then we talked a little bit, like a little at the shop, right? Like, we hung out a little bit. I went to the school that he's at while he was in school, and I went to go test. And, dude, Cabe walked down the aisle. He was the only one in that whole school starched, sharp, like clean. The rest of them have been wearing the same beanie for like 3 months, right? So I would say your appearance is huge.
Yeah, if you look like you're worth $1 million, then you probably are.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're willing to put that much effort into making sure you look clean, they're going to hire you. And I should do a comparison video. Like, I should just I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a comparison video. I'm going to walk through the door dressed like a grungy welder. And then I'm going to walk through the door dressed like $1 million. Mm-hmm. And you tell me who you're going to give the job to, right? That's huge. You guys got to think about stuff like that because your appearance says a lot in the first 10 seconds. I think that's one of the things. Isn't it the first 10 seconds somebody's already got an opinion about you?
I think it's even
maybe less.
Shorter amount of time. They already have a judgment.
Oh, yeah. So if you come across looking freaking top notch, they've already got an opinion on you. So, anyways, guys, those are our best 6 tips. You're welcome. And we hope you all have a great rest of your day. Guys, leave comments down at the bottom of these videos. Let us know what you guys want us to film. Go check out Cabe's channel, super awesome channel. It's getting grown up right now. And anyways, everybody be blessed. We'll talk to you here in a bit. See you.